This is a Fox News alert. Israel has launched retaliatory strikes against Iran. The White House was notified shortly before Israel conducted strikes on Iran. And the Israeli Defense Forces say the attacks are, quote, in response to months of continuous attacks from the regime in Iran against the state of Israel. Right now, the IDF is conducting precise strikes on military targets in Iran. The regime in Iran and its proxies in the region have been relentlessly attacking Israel since October 7th on 7 fronts, including direct attacks from Iranian soil. Like every other sovereign nation, a sovereign country in the world, the state of Israel has the right and the duty to respond. We will do whatever necessary to defend the state of Israel and the people of Israel, end quote. Joining me now is Fox News' Trey Yingst, who's live in Tel Aviv. Trey, what's the latest? What's happening?
Yeah, Jason, as we speak, the Israelis are striking Iran in response not only to that ballistic missile attack earlier this month, but also a variety of different attacks from Iranian proxies across the Middle East over the past year. Israeli officials are now starting to react to the strikes that are taking place in real time. One official just texting during the commercial break, reiterating that no Iranian energy infrastructure is on the current target list for the Israelis. Another official reiterating this idea of deterrence and how they are looking to send a message to the regime in Tehran. And all of this lets us basically come to the conclusion here, what we reported earlier, that the Israelis are not looking to drag the region into a broader war, but they are looking for the attacks against their country to stop. It's not just from Iranian territory, but also their proxies across the Middle East, their hostages that are still being held inside Gaza, and the threats not just against Israeli forces in the region, but also against U.S. forces. And that's part of the reason I'm told there was significant communication with the Americans leading up to these strikes that are currently taking place against Iran tonight. Israel is looking to give Iran an off-ramp in all of this, but they're also prepared for the possibility that Iran may respond, given the fact that the Israeli strikes are the most significant that we've seen so far. The response back in April just struck the air defense outside of one of Iran's nuclear facilities. It was looking to send a message that Israel has the over-the-horizon capabilities, the ability to strike deep in Iranian territory. Tonight's strikes, I'm told, are quite different. They are going after military targets, but with a lot of force, and they want to show the regime that they will continue to put pressure on Iran if attacks against Israel are ongoing. But all of this could certainly unravel, and that is part of the reason that you have seen the close coordination with the Americans from a defensive posture. It's part of the reason that you saw the delivery this week of the THAAD anti-ballistic missile system here to Israel, U.S. forces on the ground in this country to help Israel to shoot down any sort of incoming missiles that may come in response to this attack against Iran that is unfolding as we speak. Remember earlier this month when 180 ballistic missiles were launched from Iranian territory toward Israel, many of them slipped past Israel's missile defense systems. Now, some of that was by design. Israel looking to reserve as much of its missile interceptors for the Arrow 2 and Arrow 3 systems for the sensitive sites across this country, for the Air Force bases, for the nuclear facilities, for some of the more sensitive military sites near Israel's second largest city of Tel Aviv, where we are reporting from right now. But they understand that this could be a long conflict. They may not take the off-ramp that is being offered to them. And I just want to give you some color here in Tel Aviv, Israel's second largest city. Overhead, there is a civilian plane headed toward Ben Gurion Airport, Israel's international airport. So this is an indication that the airspace over Israel remains open. Now, earlier we saw an image of a flight radar app that showed nearly all of the civilian planes over Iran and over Iraq and over Syria have cleared the airspace because they understand that this Israeli attack against Iran is ongoing and they don't want to have commercial airliners in the skies over where Israeli jets will be flying. But the fact that the airspace over Israel remains open is a sign that there are no changes currently for the Home Front Command, Israel's military instructions to the civilian population. Oftentimes, these instructions will come all at once to warn people of an impending attack. But at this hour, we are told there are no special instructions for the Israeli population. I do want to just read you here a quick update from Israeli media. Again, Jason, we're getting all of this in real time. A few pieces of military infrastructure near the Iranian capital of Tehran were targeted. We do expect to get some more information. A local Iranian media agency, and this is coming from state media, says that the situation is normal at the country's largest international airport, and they say there has been no targeting of oil facilities. Again, we're just getting this information in real time, trying to gather what we can from both Iranian state media, from Israeli media, and of course our sources here on the ground in Tel Aviv.